see the lights already. Let's wait a couple of moments. Finally we're able to join the track, and the lights are out and we are racing. Somewhere far in the field we see 19 little cars with Anders Antel doing a very nice start, but Julian Sheen holding the inside line is looking a little bit better. Anders Antel is currently first and he wins the lead, I guess, if he will be able to hold on to it. Matten has turned around, and Anders Antel is doing pretty great, but he has to defend from Julian Sheen and Philippe Meamois, and that's enough for Julian Sheen. If they finish like this for both of the races, Julian Sheen will still be the winner of the championship, but I'm pretty sure that's not what Julian Sheen came into this championship. He's here to fight, he's here to win. He's running very close to Anders Antel. He has Philippe Meamois right on his back. That means there's no mistakes allowed at this stage of the race. If he starts fighting with Philippe Meamois, he will lose some time on track, and that could let Anders Antel to run away a little bit. It's still all nicely tight and packed together in this field. Jānis Straupe up into 6th position. Pekka Seppänen is still 4th, but he's very close to the leaders, and he is enjoying a nice view in front of him, of course waiting for some fighting to begin, to be able to run a little bit closer and maybe get his chance to try and move some positions up. First lap completed, Anders Antel still out in front, Julian Sheen being very fast, Anders Antel going very defensive. That's a nice opening for Pekka Seppänen, a little contact with Philippe Meamois. Both of these drivers are fighting for position number 3 in the championship, so that's a nice tight battle. Julian Sheen is all over the back of the car of Anders Antel. Anders Antel running very tight lines. Straight after the start, he's already defensive. That means a slower lap time for these guys, and that should keep the grid a little bit packed up. A small mistake from Anders Antel. Julian Sheen is running side by side, choosing the outside line, which is not the best for an overtaking maneuver. Anders Antel was able to hold it, but both of these drivers do not have a nice exit of one of the right-hander turns, and Julian Sheen with a dive into the inside, a small contact. Julian Sheen is going further. We have a crash further back. That's Jānis Straupe. What happened there? Maybe a contact with some drivers. Anders Antel down to the position number 5. A small mistake followed by a contact between the two contenders for the championship, leaving Anders Antel with a hope of some errors or mistakes from the current leader, Julian Sheen, who is able to run the fastest lap of the session, 1 minute 31 and 2, and he has a nice gap of 1 second between him and Philippe Meamois. Anders Antel down in 5th, not giving up, although doing more mistakes. He just lost 1 more place to Kobosnidze, down to 6th, so you can see the pressure on the shoulders of Anders Antel. He's trying his best, he's pushing very hard, and that's causing him to make some mistakes, which is not the best outcome to his battle for the championship. Anders Antel is going backwards down the grid, and that's not what he came for. He should be able to regain the position. He was faster during qualifying and practice sessions. He is able to go second fastest regarding the lap times, but when you fight other drivers, that's another story. He's back into position number 5. He's not allowed to do any mistakes anymore. He runs a little bit wide. Will Kobosnidze be able to try and re-attack? He's not. Let's ride on board with Valteris Zviedris, followed by Uldis Timaks, 2 Latvian drivers. Valteris Zviedris holding the lap record of the real track in a Legends car. Kobosnidze running a little bit wide, braking too late in the penultimate corner. That should give a nice chance for Valtteri Zviedris to try and pick up one position. Julian Sheen going fastest in the meanwhile, 1 minute 30 and 3, but he drove a identical lap time with some other drivers. Zviedris was not able to win the position, but the fight is still on. One Georgian driver and two Latvian drivers. There are three Latvian drivers with Kirillovs running in 9th place, and he is following these guys very closely. As soon as they will start a fight, Kirillovs might use and might get a small chance to try and better his position. Points are given out to the top 10 finishers of the race, so these guys are all in a fight for points, and that's what they need. Philippe Miamo is still holding to the second position, running very similar pace to the leader of the race, still not letting him go. Valtteri Zviedris still trying to find a place on the track to be able to make the pass. It's a little bit tight, crossing the lines, not enough. These cars tend to hit the rev limiters on the straights. They are driven by Yamaha motorcycle engines having 140 horsepower with the weight of the car of 570 kilograms. Together with the driver makes them very, very fast, and having semi-slick tires mounted on them makes these cars a little bit twitchy on track. We have Marko Iliaho running very close to Pekka Seppänen. That's what Philippe Miamo is wishing to see. He's in a fight for the third place in the championship with Pekka Seppänen, and he really would like to see Pekka finish in some lower positions to try and gain as many more points as possible, but Pekka Seppänen is doing a pretty good job. Actually, all the drivers out in front are running on a strong pace, which does not let Anders Antell gain on them. He is all by himself in position number 5, 2.3 seconds behind this group, and if they will not start fighting each other and making some more aggressive attacking moves, they will not slow down. They will drive as fast as they are, which will make the job very hard for Anders Antell, and finishing in these positions should mean that Julian Sheen will not have to start in the final race. He will already be crowned the championship with the championship crown in this fight. He will get 15 points more than Anders Antell, and he will extend his lead to 30 points in the championship, which is all enough to win it before starting the last race. Marko Iliaho starting some nice attacking moves against Pekka Seppänen. Only 2 tenths separating these drivers. We have still lots of time to go in this championship. A little bit less than 7 minutes, and that's a pretty long time in these sprint races. Racing with these Legends cars, we just finished one of the quickest turns on the track, called the bridge turn, and if the drivers run a little bit too wide, exiting the corner and clipping the grass, they slow down drastically, and if a car is following them, that's practically 100% loss of a position. Mark lose a couple of positions, and he's now in position number 5. That's not what he wants to do. We have a nice fight on track between Marko Iliaho and Pekka Seppänen, and it looks like that only these 2 drivers are going to give us a nice show. Let's jump into position number 11, where Jānis Straupe is following Linus Björkman in a fight for position number 10. That's the last place where points are given out, and we have Marko Iliaho running very close to Pekka Seppänen. There was only 1 tenth separating these drivers, but still running on a similar pace does not give any advantage for Marco Iliaho. We have seen Anders Antel doing another mistake in this race, and there you go. That's what Anders Antel is waiting for. Marco Iliaho hitting Pekka Seppänen, and if Anders Antel did not make a mistake a couple of corners ago, he would have been closer. There was a nice and small chance for him to pick up some positions. Let's jump into a fight for place number 10. Jannes Straupe and Linus Bjorkman fighting for it pretty hard. Jannes Straupe was running further out in front, but after a mistake or a contact, he lost a couple of positions. But he's now in a nice fight with Bjorkman, and it looks like that the organizer of this championship is doing pretty great behind the wheel of a simulator. Julian Sheen is not stopping while Jannes Straupe is twisting around the track, but he's not letting off the accelerator and still moving forward. He's up into position number 10. Of course, he's some 7.5 seconds behind Kirillov's. That's a gap that will not be possible to decrease, but that should mean the pole position for this guy if he finishes the race as he is now. That's the final lap of the first race. Julian Sheen is doing all that he needs to do. He's holding the lead position and he should finish it easily. Doing no mistakes. He's very experienced and he looks to be very professional, not only behind the wheel of a real race car. He's doing a phenomenal job on these simulators. He was running very strong in one of the E-BaTCC races held on Sunday. Only some internet connections problems finished his race sooner than he needed to. Julian Sheen wins the 11th race, or the first race of the final round. Philipp Miamois comes second, Pekka Seppänen third, Marco Iliaho fourth, and Anders Antel finishing in fifth position. Kirillov's just past Uldis Timax, who made a mistake on the final corner. Let's take a quick break and we will be back for the final race of the championship. That's how the system is set up. Jannes Straupe starting from first place, and lights are out for the final round of the E-BaTCC Championship. Jannes Straupe making a great start. Anders Antel is fighting for positions further back. It looks like Julian Sheen was able to make some positions good. He ran a little bit wide of one of the corners. Let's find these guys. Julian Sheen currently in 11th position. We have Kirillov's outside of the track, so he is a victim of the start. Jannes Straupe still holding to the leading position with two other Latvian drivers following him closely. Philipp Miamo is position number 5. He's up into 4th place. What's happening here? The positions are mixing pretty hard. Philipp Miamo is just had a contact and he's dropping and he's out of the race, and we have more cars crashing on the track. What's happening with these guys on the final round? Julian Sheen is currently 8th. He is in mixed between some drivers fighting for positions. He's up into position number 7, but during all that chaos in the first corners, Julian Sheen lost some ground. Anders Antel is doing pretty good. He wants the win at the final race and he's fighting for it. He's up into 4th place, right behind Uldis Timax. You can see the fight on your screen. So Uldis Timax is on a defending position. That's not enough. Anders Antel dives the inside of the corner. He's up into 3rd place. You can see Julian Sheen being a little bit further behind. He's about 4 seconds behind this battle. Anders Antel up into 3rd place, and what a gap. He has 2 seconds gap between him and Valteris Viedris, and Jannes Straupe, the organizer of the championship, is leading the race, and we have already seen some races won by the tiny bit slower racers who had misfortune in the first race, but when they got the option to start the second race from 1st place, most of them or some of them were able to win it, and it looks like that Jannes Straupe is holding up everything together pretty nicely. He's opening the gap 1.2 seconds. Separating him and Valtteri Zviedris, we have Uldis Timacs being overtaken by Kobosnidze, the driver from Georgia, so that's another nice start at the final race for the Georgian driver. Uldis Timacs does not want to give up. Julian Shane is running close behind Mick Martin. He just vanished the gap that was separating him and Mick Martin, and he is willing to make some positions good, and he wants to collect more points, although he is already some 30 points ahead of Anders Santel in the championship standings, which is not possible to eliminate anymore. And yeah, Julian Sheen just started this last race of the championship as the championship winner of it, so big congratulations to this Belgian driver. He is enjoying every lap that is going to be the last one in this championship, and the last round in the virtual environment means we are getting closer to the racing in the real world, which everyone has missed for very much. And let's stay for a short time together with Julian Sheen. I see a battle building up for position number 2. Anders Antel is going very fast and gaining with big steps on Valtteri Zviedris. During the last lap, only 6 tenths is separating these drivers. Julian Sheen has all the train right in front of him. He can see all the positions up to 4th place. So he will have some job and together excitement in this final round. We have Pekka Seppänen only in 11th place, another driver who is a victim of the accidents and incidents in the first lap. But his main rival, Philip Miemois, is out of the race already, which means that Pekka Seppänen should be safe in the championship standings for the 3rd place. Anders Santel just got past Valtteri Zviedris, but he has not made a good exit of the final corner, which means Valtteri Zviedris has some better speed on the straight line. That's not enough. He hit the rev limiter and he could not do anything against the 2nd place in the championship, Anders Antel. Julian Sheen already very close to Mick Martin. A little contact exit in the corner. There was a tiny bit of speed difference between these drivers. Julian Sheen did not find a place to pass Mick Martin, who's running right in front of him. That's not good news. Pekka Seppänen and Markku Iliaho still out racing in this race. Both of these drivers are out of points. They were in a fight for the 3rd place in a championship. That's good news for Pekka Seppänen, although he's down to in position number 11. That's still enough to defend the 3rd place. Julian Sheen up into 6th position. He can now see the car of Uldis Timacs right in front of him. Only 6 tenths separating these drivers. That should not take long for the champion Julian Sheen to gain on the Latvian driver Uldis Timacs and try and overtake him. He was the strongest runner throughout the season, the Belgian driver Julian Sheen. He had some problems at the opening round at the very same racetrack. He was not able to run any qualifying laps at that time, and he needed to start the race from back of the grid. So maybe he would have clinched the championship a little bit earlier. That does not matter at all. Julian Sheen is up into 5th place. He is 1.4 seconds behind Kobosnidze, who is in the plans of Julian Sheen, and he will be willing to overtake another car in front of him. Kirilovs is dropping down the positions. There was a contact between them. David Straupe, the brother of the leader of this race, is down in position number 9. Points are still given for that position, 2 points in total, and he is enjoying the place and the race that he's currently at. we have a fight between Mick Martin and Uldis Timax. It looks like Uldis Timax is going backwards down the grid in the second race. He started second and he's now sixth, having to defend from the wildcard driver Mick Martin. All of these drivers have experience in real life racing and racing these Legends cars in real world. Janis Straub going very fast, 1 minute 30 and 7. He was only 0.07 of a second slower than second place Anders Antel, and that's more than enough for the defense of the first place. That would be a nice win for Janis Straub. Mick Martin making a small mistake, running a little bit wide out of track in the braking zone coming towards the first turn. That does not help him in the fight for the sixth place. Julian Sheen is almost all over the back of Kobosnidze in a fight for fourth place. Time is ticking out. We have Pekka Seppänen already up into 8th place. Marko Iljaho still running 11th. So Pekka Seppänen is doing a nice job at the moment, and he should be able to enjoy the third place in the championship after this race will be over after some 6 minutes or a little bit longer. Julian Sheen still in a fight for position, but you can see how similarly these drivers are able to go around this virtual Bikernieki racetrack. Even the fastest guy of the championship is not overtaking other drivers that easily. We've seen Anders Antel being stuck in the last race in position number 5. He was forced into a couple of mistakes. Julian Sheen running a little bit wide. It looks like Kobosnidze made a mistake too, and Julian Sheen did not lose a lot of time. We're approaching turn number 1, one of the slowest section of the track, and this is a place where a pass is really possible. We have seen lots of passes in the real world right on this corner. Anders Antel still pushing strong, only 8/10 separating now him and the leader. We have still plenty of time left. Julian Sheen all over the back of Kobosnidze, going left and right, trying to be as close as possible to make his car very big in the rear view mirrors of Kobosnidze car. All for the disturbance of the driver ahead. A small mistake from Kobosnidze. Julian Sheen having a better exit of the turn. Kobosnidze already defending the inside line of the corner. There's not enough grip on the outside of the track. Julian Sheen, who had tried to cross the lines, the racing lines, to try and attack Kobosnidze, but it looks like that the Georgian driver is driving very, very professionally and using all the knowledge that he brought together with him to these virtual racetracks, and that's working pretty great. Both of these drivers running a little bit slower at the moment. They are losing time to the guys out in front. Julian Sheen on a attack move one more time, and he is on the outside line again. That's pretty dangerous. We have a fast right-hander closing to the first turn with heavy braking, and Kobosnidze is still able to hold the position, although Julian Sheen is already very eager to try and pass him. Now he's on the inside line of the corner, and still Kobosnidze running a little bit faster and still able to defend the position and close the doors entering the corner. The gap in front is increasing too. Julian Sheen running a little bit wide, should lose some time. On one of the faster corners of the track, we have Mick Martin on a attacking move against Uldis Timax. Uldis Timax already going the inside line. What a tight line of this driver. He runs a little bit wide exiting the corner. That cost him the speed on the straight. Mick Martin is not able to do anything. Janis Straub has a lot of work to do. We have some lap drivers to be passed. At the moment, the gap is only 0.3 between the leaders. Anders Antel is doing a phenomenal job. Janis Straub dives into the inside. And a contact between Anders Antel and a driver that is a lap down. That's not what we want to see. The leaders are able to continue racing. We have 2 laps to go to end this championship, and Janis Straupe is still out in front. Anders Antel is looking very, very racy. He wants this win. That's what he is wishing for after the bad result in first race, and this is what Anders Antel is needing and what he came for. A pass against Janis Straupe. It looks like Anders Antel is making it stick. Let's jump into the fight for position number 4. Kobosnidze is still Nico Kobosnidze is still defending very tightly against Julian Sheen. A small mistake exiting the turn. Julian Sheen already pushing him a little bit on the track, and he made the move stick around the outside of the corner. Marco Iliaho is out of the race. Janis Straupe is back into the lead. What happened there? Anders Antel made another mistake this evening. This huge pressure on the shoulders of Anders Antel is not letting him race cleanly as he is used to. Janis Straupe sliding around the track but trying not to lose the time. Only 1 minute 20 left till the end of this session. That means we are starting the final lap of the championship with Janis Straupe out in front. 3.6 kilometers left to defend his position on this race, and he would gladly get out of it with a win. The hardest braking zone is already behind these drivers. We have completed turn number 1. Anders Antel running very close. We have a driver that is lap down, running outside of the track, trying not to disturb this phenomenal fight for the lead. One of the fastest corners, a left-hander. Corner of a bridge. You have to be very, very precise here. Try to not run very wide. Both of these drivers, I think both of them clipped the grass. Janis Straupe defending the inside line. 2 right-hand corners. Will Anders Antel stick it on the outside? It looks like so. Janis Straupe was very, very careful. And that's good news for Anders Antel. He made the move stick one more time on the final turns of this race. 10 seconds to go. We are definitely on the final lap. Anders Antel is willing to win another race, and winning the final race of the season is all that Anders Antel is wishing and hoping and trying for. But having Janis Straupe right behind you, it means that the job is not done. We're on a final corner. Janis Straupe running the outside line. Will it be a drag race? Janis Straupe loses the back end of the car. That means no good exit for this driver, and Anders Antel wins the final race of the E-BaTCC League of Legends champions. Julian Sheen, the champion of this series, finishes 4th for the final race. Kobosnidze coming home 5th. We have some enjoyment moves from the drivers on the virtual racetrack. They don't get the chance to drive